I'd like us to go ahead and get started here, class, with a shoulder warm up here. If you remember our triplanar warm up, oh shoot, you know what? I'm already screwing stuff up. I forgot. So Dr. Anderson, one other new thing we're gonna do, is called Member Mondays. Okay, and that's where we're gonna try to really build a community here and get to know each other pretty well. So what I'm gonna start every Monday session with is a PowerPoint with the information that you all shared. And the first one's gonna be me. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is my first time doing this. Hit share. So there we go. Hopefully you all can see that PowerPoint I've got up there. That is me dressed in non-exercise clothes and a tie. And basically just kind of gives some information similar to what you gave us earlier this summer. So I am currently living in Huxley, Iowa. I am from Le Mars, Iowa originally. That's where I grew up. I went to high school there and then moved to Ames to come to college in exercise science. What I'm hoping to gain out of being in this, being a part of this class is just to continue to gain knowledge and experience, right? Working with older adults in this very unique setting. But also, I also really like working with you all too. So I should have put that in there as well. My hobbies, I'm kind of a boring person. When it's fall, winter, and spring, I am doing homework. And if I'm not doing homework, I'm working on other stuff. In the summer, I like to play tennis. I played tennis for the Le Mars high school team, and I continue to coach it now. And I also I kind of this summer took up canoeing. I think it's really fun. I had never been real live canoeing before, but I did do canoeing on my Nintendo Wii when I was a kid. And it's funny because when I was canoeing for real with Eleanor, I was able to figure out how to direct the canoe really well because I was doing it with the Wii remote all those years. So I have my partner, I have a girlfriend named Eleanor. We've been together for 4 years. As of September 10th, it'll be 4 years that we've been dating. We do not have any children. I don't want any children for a while. Yeah. So then moving down to the next slide, my favorite vacation spot, truthfully, is just to come back home to Le Mars and relax. I had a lot of friends when we were growing up that would say, oh, I can't wait to get out of Iowa. I want to go to Colorado or California, wherever. And I was the one that was always just like, nah, I don't need to do that. I think Iowa's great. I think Le Mars is great. I think Central Iowa is great. I don't see any reason to move from this area. Little extra info, I am partially blind. So I have no central vision. I do everything off my peripheral vision. So hopefully I'm not scaring you off the road here, but I do drive using my peripheral vision. I play and coach tennis using my peripheral vision. I do tennis lessons, tennis strength and conditioning. I also have started working with the baseball program here called 3Ts All-Stars out of Ames, doing strength and conditioning for them, on top of also doing strength and conditioning for Gilbert Middle School. So like I said, I'm pretty busy. And the partially blind thing, just want to let you know, if it ever looks like I'm like looking up like at your hair or something like that when we're talking, it's not that. I'm just moving my blind spots out of the way so that I can actually use my peripheral vision to see your eyes when we're talking. I've had a lot of people that say, hey, is there something wrong with my hair in the middle of a conversation with me? And I say, I tell them no. And then I have to explain why I'm looking at their hair. I've also had people tell me, hey, I waved at you and you looked right at me and you didn't wave back. Well, I just didn't see you. So if any of you are out in public and you see me and you wave at me and I look right at you and I don't wave back, I'm not being rude, and I just couldn't see you. So, but I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I hope you enjoyed getting to see my little picture in my professional clothing. I don't wear professional clothes a lot. I much rather wear my athletic clothing. So I'm going to go to this screen. I'm going to pin my video and make this full screen. There we go. So that's how I like to start every Monday, and I'll be a little quicker on the next Monday, member Mondays there as we go forward. But I think today we're probably not going to get to everything on my list because it's going to take a little more explanation for the first day. But let's get started with our warm-up here, class. I am going to have us begin our triplanar shoulder warm-up. Okay, and if you remember that, it's going to begin with our arm swings. Okay, so I'm going to swing my arms back and forth. I'm opening and closing my chest. And if you remember, I'm also going to be pointing my thumbs down as I close my chest up, and then I'm going to point my thumbs back up to the ceiling as I open back up my chest. All right, so go ahead and start if you haven't already. We're going to go for about 30 seconds here. There we go. Now, by pointing the thumbs up and down, remember we're getting some good rotation of that arm there. I want the arm to be rotating all the way from the fingertips up through the shoulder, right? Get that rotator cuff involved. Pinch your shoulders back as you open up your chest. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let those arms come down and dangle here for a second or two. The next one I've got for us is our arm circles. Okay, now you want to remember which direction you go the first time because we're going to come back and go the other direction the second time through. But I'm just going to start off with some small circles here, right? Looking at me from the side. I'm just drawing small circles in the air. Just 20 seconds in each direction here, class. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. I'm getting larger and larger as I go. There we go. Checking my time. Got 5 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now let's do the same thing, go in the other direction. Start off small, and then we're going to get larger and larger as we go. Very good. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Getting larger and larger here. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very nice. Now the last part of our triplanar shoulder warm-up, if you remember, is going to be our vertical reaches. Okay, so I'm going to find a good athletic position. My hips and knees are going to be bent. Back's going to be nice and flat. And I'm going to go into a reach. Now you see I'm reaching, but I'm also twisting a little bit to that same side. Okay, I'm going to put 30 seconds on my timer here. And remember, that little twist is going to open up my chest a little bit more, get a little more stretch there. But I'm also going to start incorporating some twisting, which we're going to expand upon with the next exercise. There we go. It's a nice reach. Go to a range of motion that's comfortable for you. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now moving on from here, I want to start to move down the body. We're going to expand on that twisting, and this one's going to be our disco stretch, okay? I don't know a whole lot of disco moves, but this is one I've seen on TV a lot. We're going to find a good athletic position. I'm going to get a little lower, okay? A little side view. Hips and knees are bent. I've got a little bit of a forward lean here, and I'm going to start with my right hand on my left knee, okay? Now, as I go, I'm going to lift my hand to the ceiling. My belly button's gonna follow that hand, so I'm getting good rotation as I point to the ceiling, and then I'm coming right back down, right? It looks like this disco move here, right? The only one that I know, all right? But I also want you to think about, as you get looser and looser, start to get lower. Push your hips back as you get that good lean, keep your back flat. We're gonna start to get a good stretch in the hamstring and glute there as well. Okay, so 30 seconds here. I'm gonna go a little slower on that one today. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead if you haven't already started. Remember, push that hip back. If you're reaching for your left knee, push your left hip back. Get a good stretch in that hamstring there. Starting to reach lower and lower as I go. If you can bring your fingertips all the way down to your ankle, that'd be great. Just do whatever range of motion's comfortable for you. Very nice. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, class, we're going to do the other side. So now my left hand is going to go to my right knee, and we're going to go right into it. Ready? Go ahead. Now you're pushing that other hip back, whatever hip you weren't using before, whatever hand you were using before, push that hip back, reach down low. Don't forget to get that good rotation, right? The belly button's got to follow the hand out as you go. 10 seconds left. Very nice. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice job, class. Now, I want to go into, there's 2 exercises left. I want to go into our leg swings, okay? Now, I'm only going to do the forward, backward leg swings today, okay? But I'm going to do them from the side. So just remember, when we do these leg swings, we want to get a good kick forward, right? That's what we can see. But we also want to make sure we get a good kick backward. I think some people might maybe neglect the kick back because that's part of the kick that you can't see, right? So really want to push that back so you get the glute and the hamstring involved there as well, okay? Let's go ahead and get started here in 3, 2, 1. Going 30 seconds on each side. Now, one thing I should have mentioned here as well, class, remember, we can always find a wall or a chair nearby for any of these exercises that involve a little more balance. Like this one here, I'm on a single leg while I am swinging my stretch leg back and forth. All right, so I got a chair handy. If you want to move to a wall quickly, you can do that as well. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, let's switch legs. Remember, when you switch legs, that means I'm switching sides. I want to keep that moving limb in the camera view. Let's go ahead and go right into the last half of this one. Get that good backward kick. There we go. And remember, I also like this one too because not only are we getting a good dynamic stretch in our swing leg, but we're also getting some good isometric work in our plant leg, right? The leg that's keeping us upright. 3, 2, 1, relax. So like I said, those plant legs are working pretty hard there to keep us upright. You might be feeling that right now. So I just want to kind of expand on that work that our plant legs, both legs, we're just doing there. And we're going to finish off this warm-up with a little calf raise, okay? Now, we're going to go for time. Rather than number of reps, we're going to go for 20 seconds, okay? So you see I have my chair or my wall here. I'm going to get my timer started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Up on the toes. Lift those heels up. There we go. Nice little lower leg warm-up here as well. About halfway through. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very nice. So that concludes our warm-up, and I want our warm-ups to be a little quicker now than they used to because there is so much stuff that I want to fit into each class. All right. So I want to begin now our balance progression, right? Something new. Well, a lot of our exercises that we've done in the past have worked on balance maybe more indirectly, right? Like our calf raise, our leg swing that we already had, right? Really work on balance there while also getting another focus. But I want to talk about some exercises that are directly going to get our balance. And actually, Dr. Anderson drew these nice pictures, and they look backwards. Gosh, okay. Well, forget about the words here. You can see the feet, hopefully, okay? And yeah, I didn't draw those. Dr. Anderson drew those because I came in and just drew ovals, okay? But her art skills are better than mine. So right here, the first setup for our feet, we see our feet can be wide, okay? Now, it's a little extra description there. For when we're standing, okay, our feet are going to be wide, meaning they're going to be a little wider than shoulder width, okay? And the reason why I wanted this put up on the whiteboard is so that I don't just have the camera staring at my feet the whole time, all right? So here's my wide set, okay? The next one after that is going to be narrow, okay? So just bringing the feet together, all right? So same plane of motion there. We're not keep kicking a foot forward or backward. We're just getting the feet right there, okay? Now moving on, staggered. We know staggered already, right? Because we've done different staggered stances with our band work, okay? So there's 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. It really doesn't matter to me which foot you have forward at a time, okay? I'm gonna have 4 sets for everything in our balance progression so that you can do an even number of the left in front or the right in front if you choose to do staggered, okay? The last one here is tandem. And the tandem is the big reason why I wanted to have a visual on this whiteboard here. That's where we're gonna have our feet aligned. It's the narrow stance, right? But now we are in a staggered stance as well, right? It's a combination of the narrow and staggered. You can see the heel of the front foot is almost kind of aligned with the toes there on the back foot, okay? And once again, it doesn't matter which foot you have forward at a time. I'm gonna have 4 sets so you can do an even amount of each setup there, okay? So that's our wide, narrow, staggered, and tandem. Now, when we do this, we're gonna add some upper body movement as well, all right? And the way these sets are gonna work is it's gonna be 10 seconds long. You're gonna pick one of these 4 stances, and I apologize if you can't see that very well from here. Again, I'm not a fan of the lighting here. But you're gonna pick one of those 4 stances, all right? And what we're gonna do together is we're all gonna do the same upper body movement together, all right? And the upper body movement, we also have 2 choices there. We can go with bringing our arms up above our head, reaching for the ceiling, and coming right back down, just going back and forth between reaching and back down at our sides. Or we can go with 1 arm at a time, okay? So bring the left arm up and then bring the right arm up. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna change our center of mass, all right? No matter what foot position we're in, our center of mass shifts from where it typically is. It's no longer gonna be in the same alignment. That's gonna challenge our balance, okay? We're gonna do this same balance progression after our warm-up for each of the first 2 weeks, days of the 2 weeks. So that we got this session, Wednesday, Friday, and all of next week. I wanna follow this progression here, okay? So remember, wide, narrow, staggered, tandem. I want you to pick a stance there, okay? Again, have a chair or a wall nearby if you need it. And we're gonna go into, I'm gonna pick the staggered stance for myself here, okay? And we're just gonna go for 10 seconds, either bringing both arms up and back down, or just 1 arm up and back down at a time, all right? I'm gonna get our first set of 10 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Very good. As you can see, I'm going 1 arm at a time. Do whatever's most comfortable for you here, not just whatever I'm doing. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now, if you're in a stance like staggered or tandem, go ahead and switch feet, okay? I'd like to go into another set of 10 seconds, all right? And I'm just gonna go ahead and go right into each of these different sets. So go ahead and set your feet. Ready? Go ahead. Going 1 arm at a time once again. Let me know if this progression is a little bit too easy, right? A little too hard, right? Remember, you can pick which stance you have. That's gonna really help make it more appropriate for you, whichever stance you want there. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. That's 2 sets down. I'm gonna switch back to the original setup I had, right? So I had my right foot forward on set number 1. I'm gonna put my right foot forward once again in this staggered stance. I'm gonna move this camera down a little bit. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and go right into this next set. Ready? Go ahead. I'm going both arms up and down this time. Again, do whatever's best and most appropriate for you. And I can feel it in this staggered stance. My body wants to shift from side to side as I lift my arms up. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. One final set in here, class. Gonna go for 10 more seconds. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Go ahead. Very good. You want to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you go back and forth. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. I think just kind of 10 seconds, a little short. I think I'm going to have us go for about 15. I think 15 seconds would be a good time limit going forward. All right. So that's our balance progression, right? Just 4 quick sets where we just really focus on that, kind of an additional part of our warm up there. And then we're going to go into our power progression. Okay. Now, this progression that I have for us today is one that's going to be a little different than our more typical power exercises, right? We think about our hip thrust, or we think about a lot of our cardio movements that we do, are pretty powerful movements, right? And we want to have power because powerful movements are performed by what we call fast twitch muscle fibers, okay? Those are your bigger muscle fibers, and as we get older, we tend to lose those types of muscle fibers, and that is what we call sarcopenia. That is what makes it tougher to go up the stairs. That's what makes it tougher to get off the toilet, okay? We need those types of muscle fibers to be able to function, okay? So we work on powerful movements to help either restore or maintain those types of muscle fibers. And I'm gonna be focusing primarily on the lower body here as we go about this progression. So, and as I just said, we're going to be focusing on the lower body. What I'd like us to begin with is actually a wall plank, okay? So we've done planks before. I don't want you to do them in the chair if that's what you've done in the past. I'd like you to do them on a wall, okay? Now, I'm just going to do my mime work here and pretend that I have a wall, okay? Now, you might be wondering, you said lower body, but we're working on a plank, okay? What I want to use this plank for is helping to get our body to be a little longer, okay? And what I mean by that is not physically longer, like I'm not going to try to stretch you out and make you taller or anything like that. What I'm trying to do is make you more functionally longer, okay? And I was learning all this as I was researching more power exercises, but there's a tendency in older adults to begin to get more smaller, shuffly type steps, okay? And that is indicative of a loss of function, okay? It doesn't mean you can't walk or do certain things during the day, but it means that it means that loss of function is imminent or beginning already, okay? These short, shuffly steps. So what I want to have us do is have our brains get comfortable with our bodies being longer, right? Stretching out. So I'm going to find this wall. I'm going to walk my feet out, and I'm just going to hold this position. We're going to hold this together for about 20 seconds. I'll start us and end us together, okay? But along with this plank, what I want you to do is breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, in the past, when we've done our diaphragmatic breathing, we've worked on having our stomach expand more so than our chest and then come back in. And we're going to do that again. Okay, so when you're breathing in through the nose from your wall plank, we're going to breathe in, expand that stomach, and breathe out. Let the stomach come back to that same position it was in at the beginning of the breath. Okay, so let's find that position on our wall. I want you to walk your feet out. Don't walk out too far to where you can't get out of that position, okay? But I just want you to find a good, comfortable wall plank and maybe move your feet back a little bit beyond that position of comfort, right? We want to be pushing our comfort level a little bit because there's nothing to be gained from staying completely comfortable, all right? And that's true in exercise. It's true in a lot of things in life, right? So we're going to put our hands up on that wall, move your feet past that position of comfort just a little bit, and we're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. 20 seconds. Breathe. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So stay near your wall there, okay? And I want to expand on that. So from our wall plank here, and it might even be beneficial if I use this chair here. We're just going to pretend that my hand's on the wall. What I want to do now is go into a hip hinge, okay? And we've done hinging every week of the summer and before that too, doing our RDL, okay? That RDL is a hip hinge movement, all right? Same thing with our glute bridge, with our laundry basket deadlift, all that. We're going to find that plank position, and now we're going to work on moving the hips in, moving the hips out, okay? As you see, I'm getting my plank position here, pushing my hips back. We're just moving back and forth, and we're continuing to breathe as we go, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to breathe in as I push my hips out, and I'm going to breathe out as I push my hips back in toward the wall, okay? So just get those breaths in there as you go. We're going to go for 20 more seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Might be getting a little stretch in there as well as you push your hips back. Might be feeling that same stretch as you did in the disco stretch earlier. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So what I'm leading you through here, class, is a progression, okay? That wall plank is the beginning, okay? The hip hinge, okay? That's the next step. What we're going to do now is find that plank position once again, and we're going to work on picking the knee up and down. Now, this should be familiar from our cone workout that we had earlier this summer, right? When we're working on picking up the foot, we're picking the toes up as well as the knee, right? We don't want to let those toes hang, and then we're going to drop the foot right back down, okay? Now, we're not going to stomp. We're just going to bring the foot up and back down with control, okay? We're also going to incorporate our breathing. So hands are going to be on that wall. I am going to pick up the knee, pick up the toes. I'm going to breathe in as I'm letting the foot come down. I'm going to breathe out as I bring the foot and the knee back up, right? So breathing in as I relax, breathing out as I contract, all right? We're going to go for 20 more seconds on that one here. You don't have to bring your knee up as high as I do. You just want to get a good lift, pick those toes up as if we're doing the cone workout, okay? So 20 more seconds here. We're going to get started in 3, use the chair again, 2, and 1. Ready? There we go. You want to alternate feet as well. I should have said that earlier too. Alternate which foot you're using here, okay? Go left and then right. Get a good quick lift of that knee. Very nice. Checking my time. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, with that knee flexion, or not that knee flexion, with that hip flexion, that's the joint action we call that. This is hip flexion right here, okay? We do want to be a little bit quicker, all right? I'm not particularly worried about that today, right? We're just introducing the exercise. As you go into that on Wednesday and Friday, I want you to think about getting that knee up a little faster, all right? Not going past what could possibly cause you any pain or anything like that. But again, just pushing past your comfort zone just a little bit, all right? Now, the last part of our progression, okay, is going to be a catch step, all right? And I would advise you, if you're a little bit wary of your balance, I would advise you to have your wall here, not a chair. Have your wall in front of you. And what I want you to try is just getting a little bit of a lean forward and then having a foot come out and catch you. Okay, now you don't have to be leaning forward to where you're on the verge of falling, okay? I just want you to get a good forward lean to where your brain begins to feel like you need to get a foot up there to catch yourself, okay? So get a little bit of a lean forward, step out, and I want this step to be a little larger, okay? It doesn't need to be all the way out here, right? We're not doing lunges right now, okay? We're just getting a little longer functionally with our body, okay? So we're getting a nice lean, get a little step, and come right back to the start. And where the wall comes in is if you're a little worried about losing your balance going forward, okay, we can get a good step and put our hands on the wall there as well, okay, a little extra support, all right? I'd like to go for 20 seconds here once again, just alternating between left and right, and we're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Get that nice little catch step, okay? Come right back to the start, catch step. There we go. Put those hands up on the wall if you need it. Get a good forward lean. If you're comfortable, really accentuate that lean, right? Really force your body to get that foot out faster, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. And I might make those 30 seconds per set there just to have it be a little longer. Now, what can you think about that might be pretty functional with being able to get your foot out, right? If you trip over something, maybe there's a piece of sidewalk that's elevated from the rest of it, right? And you trip over that. You might want to be able to get your foot out there pretty quickly, right, to catch yourself. So that's where power comes in. It's not just the size of your muscles that we get from power, right? We also are able to have our brains be comfortable with getting longer and getting faster with our muscles to where we're going to be able to catch ourselves should we lose our balance, okay? So we're going to keep working through that progression, and obviously it'll be faster, right? I'm not going to take until 9:40 to do that every day with the balance and the power, but just the first day, right, introducing that and explaining it will take a little bit of time. But each day we're going to work on that progression, and I'd love your feedback as well, right? I can't improve that or tweak it to make it better for all of you if I don't get that feedback. So just let me know after class if there's something you want to let me know, okay? Now, like I said, that's a transition from the warm-up to the workout. We're going to go into our more traditional workout here, all right? So I want to go into our first superset. And the exercise in our first superset that I want to begin with is going to be our squat progression, okay? So if you remember our classic squat progression, we're going to have our chair, okay? I got a little cushiony one now, a little better than the wooden one I had all last summer. And we're going to go over our double leg extensions. So this is the first part of our squat progression. If you remember, I can have my back up against the back of the chair, or I can be sitting forward. Just make sure you have good posture, right? Big chest, pinch the shoulders. We're going to extend both the knees, and then we're going to come right back down. That'll be 1 rep there, okay? Now, the next step up from that is going to be our sit to stand, okay? So the sit to stand, I can have my arms out or have them crossed, whatever you prefer, okay? And I'm just going to press my feet into the floor, come up, and I'm going to come back down, making sure I know 100% where this chair is, okay? Do not do this one if you're a little nervous about catching the chair every time, right? So I like to have my feet a little closer, and that way I know that that chair is going to be there when I come down. Now, if you remember, something we did a little more of is doing this sit to stand with the staggered stance, okay? Another exercise that has a more direct focus on lower body strength, but also is getting us ready for balance work, right? Because in a lot of walking and running, you're gonna be on a single leg, albeit for only a few seconds at a time or even less than that. You're on a single leg frequently when you're moving. So what I want us to try, and you don't have to try this, you can just have your feet together in a more traditional wider stance there, okay? But if you want to try getting a foot forward and a foot back a little bit and try coming up and back down, you're going to find that your back leg is doing a lot more work than the front leg, okay? And that's working on that single leg strength there. We can do the same thing with our squat as well, okay? Which is the last part of our progression. All right, so I got 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. I'll switch it. There we go, and I'm coming down. And back up, and it's similar to my sit stand. My back leg is working more so than my front leg there, okay? Now, I want to do this a little differently than we're used to, all right? I want you to hold on to a weight as you're doing this, okay? And you can hold on to that weight with your hands crossed, like we said, or you can hold on to that weight with your hands out. I got both my dumbbells here, okay? Because we're gonna be doing a little more periodization here with this. So what that means is some of our exercises are gonna be geared more toward heavier weights, and some of them are gonna be geared toward more lighter weights, okay? And actually, the next exercise that I'm gonna pair with this squat is gonna be an example of using that lighter weight. So I have my bigger, heavier dumbbells for that squat there. Not as applicable for the double leg extension, right? Because you're not really holding anything with your hands during that double leg extension, but for the sit-stand squat, you're doing that. For the upper body exercise, the bent over row, right? Finding our athletic position, back is nice and flat, hips are pushed back. I want you to go with your lighter dumbbells or whatever resistance you have that's lighter than what you typically use, okay? We're going to get a good pull up to the armpits, right? I'm driving my elbows back behind my body. I'm bringing the dumbbells up to my torso, kind of up by my rib cage here, pinching my shoulders back, and then I'm coming right back down, holding this position throughout. We're gonna do 15 of those, okay? So the row that we're doing here is geared more toward our endurance, okay? Being able to do more reps, but with less weight, okay? The squat, having it be with lighter or heavier weight and smaller reps, is gonna be geared more toward a strength type of benefit, okay? So how I'm gonna run the squat is we're gonna do 2 sets of 6 back to back, okay? So I'm gonna be in my staggered stance. We're gonna do a set of 6 with the right leg back, set of 6 with the left leg back, and then we're gonna go into our row. If you are doing your set with your feet together, right? If you don't wanna do the staggered stance, you're gonna be doing 12 total with that same stance, all right? Everybody's doing 12 total, but it'll just be a little different there. As we finish up our first set on our squat, we're then gonna go into our first set of our row, 15 reps, okay? So a little extra challenge on my part, remembering what the numbers are for each exercise. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get started here. I'm gonna go with the sit to stand, okay? You pick whichever exercise in this squat progression is best for you. We're gonna get 6 reps together, and then I'm gonna switch feet and get 6 more, all right? We're all gonna get started together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Know where that chair is? That's 1, 2, 3, halfway through, 4, 5, 6. Now, if we're doing the staggered, switch your feet. Ready? 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more. 5, and 6. Very good. So that's 1 set down. Hopefully we're feeling that back leg doing a little more work, right? That back leg is pushing ourselves up more so than the front leg. I'm going to transition now from that first set on the squat progression to now going to my row, right? We're letting the lower body rest while we work the upper body. So 15 reps here in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up, back down. That's 1. Got the lighter weight here. 2, 3, 4, nice and controlled. 5, pinching those shoulders back every rep. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. So now the upper body can rest. We're gonna go back into our squat now. Second time through here. I'm gonna find my heavier weights back. Again, do whichever exercise is best for you. This is gonna be our last set. We're gonna be doing 2 sets of each exercise here. If I have enough time in future classes, we'll try for 3, but for today, we're only gonna get through 2, all right? So, we're gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up, and back down. That's 1. Know where that chair is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch legs if you're going with the stagger. Ready? 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. So like I said, that's going to be it for the squat today, all right? I'm now going to go into our second and final set of the row. We're going to try to fit in the second superset that I had today as well, all right? And that might have to be cardio instead of the second resistance set. But, so bent over row here, I'm going to go the front view this time, okay? So you can see my athletic position here. Let's go ahead and go right into this last set. Ready? Coming up, pinch the shoulders. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. So that is it for our first resistance training superset. As we get faster at the balance, right, and faster at going through the power progression, that's not you all getting faster, that's just us getting used to it so I can go through it faster with the class. We'll be able to fit more of the work that we typically get done in our class. Now, what I actually want to do next is go into our cardio set, okay? And I've chosen our more classic, probably my favorite cardio superset, which is going to be that cross body punch combined with our cardio side step, okay? So if you remember the cross body punch, make sure there's no dumbbells near your feet while we do this. I'm going to get set athletically. We're going to do 3 sets of 45 seconds for each exercise. That means 6 sets total, okay? 6 sets of 45 seconds is going to be 4 minutes and 30 seconds total. So it's not a lot of time. That means I want you moving to a point that you can comfortably work for 45 seconds, but that you are challenging yourself.